And welcome back to the next episode of Talksmack with Mac. In this segment, we're going to be talking some MMA, and no other person that I would love to talk MMA with than my boy Liam from MMA Hardcore on Instagram, one of the most badass pages on Instagram. Say you have there you go, Liam has a shirt. Say you miss one of the big fight Saturdays coming up, or Sunday in Liam's case, and you're like, damn, man, I'm missing it. I'm at work. MMA Hardcore is going to make sure you get those highlights within minutes, man. They're one of the most badass pages. Check them out. I'll make sure I put some shit somewhere and make it look nice for you.
Are you ready? Let's talk smack.
But Liam, what's up, man? We are just catching up. It's been a while, but, I'm glad you're here now.
What's up, Mac? It's always a pleasure to come on and speak to you. And just want to say congratulations for everything you've got going on. I can see the new room is looking smooth. Can't wait to see it up and running.
Yes, man. I wasn't even supposed to be potting yet. It was supposed to be a big surprise. But, I just got you guys looking at the bare minimum right now. I'll shoot some pictures on my Instagram when it gets all set up, and I'll make sure I hit you up and show you and shit. But it's going to look good. But we're going to be talking some UFC, man. There's been a lot of shit that's been going on lately. And let's just dive right into it. Starting with, I noticed a little late, but Conor and Dustin, they had their trilogy fight. I personally thought Dustin was going to come in and handle his thing. It ended up ending in an injury, which even before the injury, Conor was getting smashed on the ground, in my opinion, for a while. How do you feel about that fight, and how do you feel about the injury to Conor?
Yeah, I was super excited for that fight, the trilogy, because it was 1-1 going into it. The way it played out, it's unfortunate the way it played out, because I think Dustin probably would have got the win. I was kind of rooting for Dustin a little bit in the way of the build-up and kind of the way things went. Conor's so good at building the fight and drawing eyes to the sport and stuff like that. And I think it doesn't really matter if he wins or loses. He's always going to be that big draw, and I'll always look forward to seeing him fight. But I'm a massive Dustin Poirier fan as well, and the journey that he's been on and the way he's handled himself throughout it. I remember when we were talking about him fighting Habib, and it was, do you think Dustin's going to be able to do it? And it's like, I don't know. And he has this story of his ups and his downs, and he always seems to come back stronger. So for the trilogy fight, I did think Dustin was going to put it on Conor. I knew Conor was going to come out sharp, and if he doesn't get it done in the first round or second round, it was going to be Dustin's fight anyway. So that was the first round. We seen how it went. It was just a real shame that Conor's leg went kind of buckled like that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I was glad that Poirier got the win. I feel like he did.
Connection issue.
Oh, you hear me?
Back.
Yeah. That's okay. But yeah, I was happy that Dustin got the win. I was super excited for him. It was a bit disappointing seeing the way that the Octagon interviews went and kind of the way everything was left. And he was kind of with Conor shouting at him as he left and things. I didn't really feel like he deserved that. But it's definitely hype to a 4 fight if it ever comes down to that. But I don't know, man. I think Dustin should fight Nate next. I think that would be cool.
That would be cool, man. I'm going to stick on Conor for a second. Conor's done. Even going up to this fight, I was, I like Conor. He does great for the sport. He's fun to watch. But the dude hasn't done shit in 5 years. You can't take your 5 years of your prime or a big chunk of your prime, sit down and do nothing MMA related. He had a little box against Mayweather. He was making money moves. He was making boss-ass moves outside of the octagon. But while he was losing his prime years doing nothing, I think he won 1 fight in 5 years. Dustin Poirier was training, getting better, fighting the best of the best, staying on his craft, staying just in tip-top shape, year round. Conor's done. Yeah. He comes into this fight and he breaks his leg. He shatters it. Looked like his ankle was hanging off the bone. That guy's not coming back from that. How strong can you make that bone? How strong is it going to come back? Are you going to be able to kick? If not, he's going to have to change up a lot of what he does. You can't be a one-trick pony in the octagon and out of your prime and expect to be that top guy still. But like you said, no matter what, Conor will go all the have that draw. So he's always going to fight if he wants to. He has so much money now. It's like, does he even really want to fight? What's he doing it for? What's his why? You know, so that's why I think he's done. And then he breaks his leg.
Yeah, it's a good point. And, you know, I think Conor will always be remembered as one of the greatest at featherweight. I can't call him the best at lightweight. You know, he only fought he got a title fight straight away against, you know, he's fought Nate Diaz. He's had one win, one loss. He got smashed off Khabib. He's fought Poirier. Poirier's beat him twice now. It would be tough to say that Conor's the greatest lightweight ever in terms of his legacy and things like that. I think Conor's an amazing featherweight, but I think that's just because he killed himself to get down to the weight. I think if Conor wanted to kind of cement a legacy now and like come back and do something like spectacular in terms of not just being a great draw, but also maybe doing something for his legacy, it might be really difficult for him. But I think it would be really cool to see him go down to like 145 and try and capture that belt. So if he did that, I mean, he would definitely be staking his claim the 145 pound greatest ever, you know. But you got guys like Jose Aldo who were the champion, who were defending the belt constantly for like how many times. So I feel like it's really difficult to say someone's like the best or the best ever in that division where they've not really defended the belt. You've got guys like John Jones, Demetrius Johnson, George St. Pierre, and like Jose Aldo, who defend their belt like quite a lot. For Conor just to win the belt, go up a division, win the other belt, it's like he is an amazing fighter, and I think the first fighter to ever hold two belts in different weight classes at the same time, and that'll always be iconic. But to say like he's the greatest fighter ever as a featherweight or a lightweight, I don't think that's true.
It's a stretch for real. You can't believe in the hype of, you know, the short amount of time that he absolutely changed the game and brought so many eyes to it. Yeah, that's great. But in terms of octagon success, there's no way in hell I'm putting him over a guy like Anderson Silva ever. You know, I'm putting Khabib above him. He was absolutely dominant. You know, shit. I might even put Chuck Liddell over Conor. That's like a toss-up. That's more of like who Conor reminds me of when Chuck Liddell came in and started throwing bombs and was knocking everybody out and was bringing eyes to the octagon. That's what Conor did, but magnified. As I give it to Conor a little bit over Chuck, but he's no all-time great in terms of octagon success.
Yeah, and I think what you're right in saying that. I think his run in the featherweight division was absolutely spectacular, though, and the way he captured the belt was totally iconic, and he brought the sport to a new level completely. When he went up the division, it was fantastic. All the fights he does are so entertaining. He does go for the knockout, and like we're always going to watch Conor McGregor fight because we're all massive fans. Doesn't matter what he says. Like, as much as I don't agree with what he says, I'm always going to watch him fight. Always going to watch him fight. But yeah, I hope, like, his leg, though, that's a good point that you mentioned, you know, if his leg is really, like, it looks completely snapped from the footage. Apparently he has got his surgery and stuff like that, but yeah, it's going to take a long time to heal. And even when it does heal, well, if Dustin kicks that leg a couple times.
All right, so let's move on from Conor. You know, he gets talked about enough. What I want to talk about is something that I've seen recently was Stipe came out. And Stipe's not happy with the UFC. Stipe is one of the greatest heavyweights ever. Stipe just does amazing stuff, right?
Yeah.
He has the history, the trilogy with DC and laying DC out, who's one of the greatest ever. So it's like, but yeah, Stipe, he comes out and he's like, hey, UFC, why am I not getting a rematch? You know, DC got immediate rematches with me. Why is it like it should be my right to have a rematch? This is my title. What's up? Meanwhile, you have, you know, guys building up Ngannou, which is, you know, totally has their right. Guys building up John Jones, moving up a weight class, who hasn't done shit yet in heavyweight. But Stipe just got like left behind, like he's nobody.
Yeah. And it's something, I take it, so Stipe, he's asking for a rematch with Ngannou. Is that right? That's what he's looking for just now. Yeah.
Immediate rematch.
Yeah, deserves it. Yeah, 100%.
Ngannou doesn't even have an opponent yet because it can't come to terms with John Jones. So meanwhile, we have a bullshit interim title fight for the heavyweight championship, I guess, just to sell tickets or get more eyes, because Ngannou didn't even fight that long ago. It's like, give the guy a break, let him recover, let him train, let him do his thing. He's the champion. Give him his respect. Do you think the interim title for the heavyweight championship in the UFC is kind of bullshit and I guess oversold from Dana White and those guys?
It's tough, because the UFC doesn't have any kind of order that they do things anymore. It's really just up to the UFC brass and what's going to sell and stuff like that. And I remember saying not that long ago, like where the UFC is kind of like, it would be cool if it became more like, it's tough because it's not like, it is a sport, but it's not got like an official sports league where the best fight the best and it's just the order. If you beat all the guys, you should always fight someone above, like ranked ahead of you. If you're coming off a win, they're coming off a loss. It just makes sense, and you build your way up to the top, and you have your ultimate fighting champion, right? But it's different because sometimes they fights wouldn't sell as much as maybe number 5 fighting number 1 because this guy's got the bigger name, and it can be tough. But in terms of Stipe fighting, I like Stipe because he's been around for a long time. He's fought everyone that we wanted to see him fight. He even gave Daniel Cormier so the first time, he got the rematch against Daniel Cormier, didn't he? So he did get beat. He did get the rematch against Daniel Cormier, which he quite rightfully deserved, in my opinion. I think there was like, even then there was like long negotiations, and DC was wanting to kind of fight Brock Lesnar, and they were just kind of like, whoever's got the belt, realistically, is just going to want to fight the biggest fights. Doesn't matter who deserves it. You got a guy that deserves it, but you got a guy you can maybe make £2 or £3 million more. You're going to fight that guy because you have to do what's right for you. And it's sad that it's like that, because when Stipe got beat, I did think he deserved a rematch, and there was a lot of hassle about that and stress he probably didn't deserve. So I think he definitely should have got the rematch. In terms of the rematch against Ngannou, it's a tough one to say as well, because when he beat Ngannou didn't get the instant rematch. He had to fight his way back up to build for the championship, and he's done that. So he quite rightfully deserved the shot at the title, and he won it fair and square. So to say that Stipe deserves an instant rematch against Ngannou, I mean, I would definitely watch it because I really like Stipe, and I think it would be great if it was really cool. Like, he's a firefighter and he's really proud of where he's from. And, Machine Gun Kelly was coming out and sitting ring cage side. And yeah, that was pretty badass. And I enjoy seeing stuff like that. Meeting him backstage and stuff. I like Machine Gun Kelly as well. Big fan. I like of his music. It's pretty cool. Yeah. Some of it. But yeah, like in terms of his rematch against Ngannou, I can see the UFC and, Stipe, why don't you fight someone else? Maybe they do the interim title thing or whatever, and Stipe fights the winner of that.
Yeah, I could see that if it takes longer for Ngannou. But
yeah, if he's like negotiating with John Jones. If John Jones fights Ngannou, I'd say Stipe could fight the winner of that, or Stipe fights the winner of the interim for just to keep the division alive.
Back and he fights, shutting the interim title, that just goes away, right?
Say that again.
Say if Ngannou comes back and defends his heavyweight title, that should, like, the interim's gone, right?
If he comes back, well, it's weird because the UFC kind of do this thing where it's like, even though you have an interim champion, like, they should be next in line for the title shot. You know what it's like. John Jones says, I'll be able to fight on this date and I'll take this amount of money. They'll do it because they're going to sell the pay-per-views. And then whoever's got the vacant title then. But it can be tough and it can get a bit muddled up. So yeah, we'll just have to wait and see how that plays out. But does Stipe deserve the rematch? I think, I would love to see it. I don't think he's going to get the immediate rematch. Perhaps if he sits out a bit, he will get given it eventually. Or if he wants to stay active, I'd love to see him fight anyone in the heavyweight division. But if you've got two guys fighting for their interim belt, I don't really know where he fits in just now, to be honest. It kind of sucks.
Yeah.
It'd be cool to see John Jones come up and fight him, but I don't know if John Jones would want to do that.
Yeah, definitely not. If I'm John Jones, I don't want to take that fight. I want to fight for the title because I can. Like you said,
Exactly.
I can fight on this date and you give it to me, UFC. So, yeah, it's unfortunate. We have an all-time great guy that still has some left in the tank. He just freak of nature in Ngannou at the wrong time. But, yeah, give him his rematch. Or, like you're saying, let him get a fight, a good fight. Give him some damn money. He's a legend. You know, Stipe can't get lost in the shuffle. That's messed up. He has every right to be mad. But one thing I noticed recently was Amanda Nunes got COVID and she had to drop out of her fight. That's so unfortunate, man. We are all of us UFC fans, MMA fans are itching to see her to get back into the octagon and just beat the shit out of somebody.
Yeah. That's why we watch Amanda Nunes. We don't even care who she's fighting. We just know she's going to win. It's going to be dominant, and she's a great champion. It's a shame that she's got COVID because I was looking forward to that too, Mac.
When was it rescheduled for? Like November or something, or not yet?
I don't even know if it's been rescheduled for a certain date. I think they're going to be rescheduling that fight, though, for sure. Could be September, like you say.
Yeah, man. Hopefully we'll get to see that. Well, some upcoming fights coming up is, I think, Brian Ortega and Volkanovski, right?
Oh, that'll be for the belt. Yeah, so I feel like I've been hearing about that for a long time. How's that going to go? It's a crazy fight, that one, because Brian's quite big for that division, whereas
So I just watched his episode with on JRE, and he used to play rugby, and Volkanovski was 260.
Yeah, giant. I absolutely but he was so small though, right? He's not like a really tall guy. He's just small and
this big, the same size, this big as this way when he was
really.
That's ridiculous. But for him to go down to what, 135?
Do you know what's crazy though? See the way he fights. It's like he's kept that same strength. Like he's so strong in the octagon. So I don't know, man. Like I feel like if Brian gets up on the ground, he'll definitely submit him because he's proper legit. But if he gets hit a few times,
he can take.
Who knows?
I don't know if he could take like a super punch. Brian Ortega is that guy. Also, they're both badass people, man. So this is a hell of a slugfest. But I think Volkanovski is going to keep the title, maybe by dramatic fashion.
Yeah, and he's as well. Brian Ortega is not the most technical. He did do really well against, he knocked out Frankie Edgar. He did really well against the Korean Zombie. And he did look really technical there. But when he was against Max Holloway just pieced him up, And Max Holloway's kind of went toe-to-toe with Volkanovski twice. And it was really close fight. So, I mean, it's a good chance to see what Ortega's made of. I feel like he's had his time in the UFC to adjust. Remember when he was just a beginner and he was kind of learning boxing and he was mainly just a jiu-jitsu guy. I feel like it's time now. He's had his time to adjust, and we're seeing him against the top level athletes and how he's able to perform. He's getting a title shot, so let's see what he can do. If he becomes the champion, that'll be great. He seems like a cool guy, and yeah, it'll be great. We'll be able to market him pretty well.
Badass. So let's talk about the future of 155, man. This is like the hottest division.
Good one.
In the UFC. You have your champion Charles Oliveira, who beat Michael Chandler. It was awesome. He weathered the storm in the first round and then ended up beating him in the second. That was fucking awesome. Charles Oliveira, he's not a fake champion, man. This dude is really fucking good. He can keep his composure in bad spots, but there's some dogs in this division, man. You have Dustin Poirier, who we already talked about, just smashed Conor twice in a row. That's neither here or there. But before that, he fucking had a war with Dan Hooker. This dude is an absolute monster, man.
He's fought everyone. Dustin Poirier. He is the uncrowned champion for sure.
Yeah. So I'm assuming that fight is going to happen next, unless there's been a lot of shit talking between Nate Diaz and Dustin. If he wants to go do one more cash grab, but he's seeing not only the differences, all eyes on him versus the money. He's getting paid more money to fight Conor. Will get paid more money to fight Nate Diaz, but also his Instagram following is going up crazy too. That pays dividends in this. If you got 2 million or 5 million people on Instagram, you're going to make some money. So he can take that route, get the eyes on him, go smash Nate at 170. That would be super interesting. You can't ever count Nate Diaz out. He's super fun to watch. We already know what type of guy he's going to be when he gets in the octagon. But also, you got Justin Gaethje, who's just been floating around since the Khabib fight. He's not doing anything. He's ready to go take Michael Chandler's fucking head off coming up. That's going to be one hell of a fight. How do you see that fight going on?
Oh, dude, like you say, there's like so many amazing fights in the division, like from the champion right down the rankings. Every single one of them is so exciting. I'm trying to find out if the champion currently has any fights, like, or if you're intended to defend his title, active return to featherweight. Yeah, so it doesn't look like he's got a fight scheduled yet, the champ. So it'll be interesting to see who he defends it against. So say that again, sorry?
It's got to be Dustin.
It's got to be Dustin, yeah, but I don't know. I felt like he was fighting someone before. I thought that he had a fight lined up, but I'm just having a wee look. Intended to defend his title, although it's expressed that he is open to return. Yeah, so it doesn't look like there's anything scheduled for Charles Oliveira. So yeah, it has to be Dustin Poirier if he wants it. That's the fight we need to see. And hopefully after all this time, dude, Dustin Poirier can finally say he's a UFC champion. That would be incredible.
Well deserved, man. If he does that fight, I'm thinking it could happen as early as like December, man. December, maybe January.
And well, he's not going to fight. There's no point waiting for Conor.
Yeah,
there's no point waiting for Conor. I would say there's so much like exciting fights. What do I think of Justin Gaethje versus Michael Chandler?
Yes,
dude, that's a match made in paradise. That's going to be like Robbie Lawler versus Rory McDonald. That's going to be like one of those fights. Very exciting. They're both just going to go for the finish. I'm a massive Justin Gaethje fan, so I would like him to win. Like I was definitely on the Michael Chandler hype train when he came over. Like, dude, I was so excited. Like to finally have like the Bellator champion come over. His mindset, his fights in Bellator were just insane. To have him come over to UFC and be given that chance, knocked out Dan Hooker in such amazing fashion. Just went for the first round knockout, destroyed him. Proper put himself in line for a title shot. He got so close to coming over and doing it. Oh man, I was going crazy. I thought he was going to win. He knocks him down, and then in the second round, it just got all turned around. But man, he's definitely going to do it one day, I think. So yeah, we just have to wait and see. Him versus Gaethje's amazing. Nate Diaz can always be put in there as well somewhere. If Nate Diaz wanted to fight for the belt, that would be exciting. If Nate Diaz wanted to fight Dustin Poirier, that would be cool. If I'm Dustin, though, I probably will go for the title fight next. Conor's going to be out a long time, and even if the worst happened and he didn't become the champ, he could still fight Nate because it would still be a massive fight.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I definitely feel you on that. It's going to be interesting to see what goes down as a result of the Gaethje and Chandler fight. Because if Chandler fight beats Justin Gaethje, I think you have Chandler fight Darush, or the winner of that fight, Gaethje or Chandler fight Darush, and that winner goes for the title, whoever wins out of Poirier and Oliveira.
Yeah, or if say, yeah, exactly. And if Dustin lost, even if like, let's say like hypothetically Chandler won, or Gaethje, doesn't really matter. The winner of that could fight Dustin, and if they beat Dustin, that would put them next in line for the title, because it would be hard to give like Michael Chandler beats Justin Gaethje and then gets another shot at the title. It'd be like
fight Darush.
Yeah, you could do that as well. I'd rather see him fight Dustin though, because that's a cool fight. Darush would be a hard fight as well. But yeah, man, that whole division is stacked. It's insane.
Gaethje is going to come in against that fight, and he's going to smash those fucking leg kicks.
Oh, he is.
Michael Chandler. And what's going to happen after that? Chandler's either going to get in or get out. He's going to either get the fuck out of there and try to negate those leg kicks as best as possible, or he's going to try to take them down and smash them on the ground. So is Justin Gaethje going to be able to fire off those leg kicks and then stop the takedown afterwards is going to be the big question in my eyes. But both of these, they both like to just throw bombs, bro. So it's going to be one hell of a fight.
Yeah, I'll be so surprised if that goes the distance.
Oh,
I would have to, if I was putting money on it, I'd have to say I don't expect that to go the distance. I believe they're both gonna just go for it, but you never know. Sometimes that happens, like Eddie Alvarez and Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje, when they've all been matched up, it can be a war for so long, and almost don't want it to go the distance because it's horrible. It's like, oh, why am I watching this? I forget that this is a sport sometimes,
right now, let's wrap this shit up.
Yeah, this is enough. Come on, I need to do something a bit more gentle now. I don't know, but that division's stacked. We've got Sean O'Malley as well, who just made a massive statement. Well, a massive statement against the guy that had came in on very short notice. I'd say there's a lot. It's one of the fights where sometimes where, say, someone does an amazing performance, like for example Leon Edwards versus Nate Diaz. Did you watch that fight?
Yeah, Leon Edwards was beating the shit out of Nate Diaz the entire fight, and then the fifth round comes.
No one cared. Yeah, no one talks about that though. No one talked about how good Leon Edwards was the whole fight. The whole thing was, did you see Nate nearly finished him in the last round? And that's what we all wanted. How amazing is Nate Diaz? And it just got totally overshined,
But it happened.
It happened. Oh, he did. He got him. Yeah, he nearly knocked him out. And I was, oh my God. I remember watching that and I was like, oh my God, he's going to do it. This is the thing we always say about Nate, where it's like his fight will always get stopped due to cuts early or whatever. This was like his opportunity. It goes into like the fifth round and he hits him with like a 1-2 combination. And it was like, yes, if there's anyone that pulls it off, this is Nate Diaz. And it would have just been so amazing. I would have been him in the title. He'd be the biggest star ever. But like that fight, so that's one of the fights where that kind of happens. But I feel like with the Sean O'Malley fight, his opponent, I think, is it something Munoz or something? This new kid, I feel like everyone was talking about how tough he was, and it was incredible to see like how tough he was, and his hair looked really, really cool, kind of like the Joker, just taking all his punishment covered in blood. The guy was a badass, but also people were also talking about how skilled O'Malley looked, how sharp he was, and eventually he did get the TKO. But yeah, I mean, that was just an amazing fight, and I can't wait to see what's next for Sean O'Malley. I don't know if you've seen it. Yeah, it was amazing.
I was a little pissed off about that fight because the other guy was super tough and all the respect in the world. He's a badass. Sean O'Malley, man, you looked great. He fought absolutely phenomenal going backwards. That's such an underrated skill that our man Deontay Wilder has found out in the last couple years. Is fighting backwards is not only hard, you're going to be off balance. But he looked phenomenal doing that. The other guy that is a badass, pardon me for not knowing your name, bro. But he was super tough. But Sean O'Malley, he had to sleep him, man. He had to knock him out. This is a guy that was just fed to the wolves. It was late notice. He's not even in the UFC. The only guy that said, fuck it, I'll take the fight. And he couldn't stop him till like the last 30 seconds. I get it. Some people are just... have a fucking skull, but I was mad at that.
That was crazy. And I think his Instagram was at 1.8 thousand people. So his name's Chris Munyo. I think I don't know how to pronounce it. Chris Munyo. So it was at 1.8 thousand followers before he fought Sean O'Malley. And after it, it's now at 171,000 people. So good for him, man. And he got the bonus, life-changing bonus.
Yeah. Those 50,000, soon to be 75,000, right?
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know. He got a lot of money for that, and hopefully he gets like another opportunity in the octagon to like prove himself. That would be really cool. It could definitely. He looked quite young as well. It would be really cool to see him against some of the competition. But I'm looking forward to see what was next for Sean O'Malley. I'm a big fan of his, and I don't know if you've seen Timbo. Actually, he did a podcast with me. His coach. Tim Welsh.
Awesome. Congrats.
Dude, how crazy is that? Yeah. He came on and he was just the nicest guy, answered all my questions and just talked to me about his routines and things like that. Just like you see on his podcast, that's exactly what it's like. So yeah, shout out to him, and that guy's awesome.
Yeah, man. That's cool. That coach obviously knows what he's doing because Sean O'Malley is wickedly talented. and I'm excited to see what he's gonna do against like a top tier competent, like ranked guy. I would love to see somebody around like 12 to 8 ranked if he could get it. I don't know the other side, the business side. Some people just probably don't want to fight him. I'm not sure, but we all agree that he's fucking talented and out of this world. So we're gonna see if he could be the next weirdo with the hair and the mouth shit and laying people out. I have high hopes for him. I hope the next fight that he could look great again against somebody who does this shit in the UFC.
Yeah, I wanted to see him fight Cody Garbrandt. I was ready for that. And I seen Cody Garbrandt was on Brendan Schaub's podcast doing Fight Companion, and he got called out live on it. It makes so much sense for him to fight him. But yeah, maybe O'Malley maybe has like 1 or 2 more fights before he gets to the top tier guys in that division. But I'm ready for it. I want to see it. And I think he's definitely game for a fight, and he's entertaining inside and outside the octagon. So, whatever.
So I put a lot of pressure on him. I have high hopes for him because he has all the makings of the next superstar. The guy with the mouthpiece that could sell the tickets, put the ass in the seats, and then a guy can also get inside the octagon and be flashy and get away with it and knock people out in dramatic fashion and put together amazing combos and shit. He's a very skilled guy. I want to see him make that jump.
Yeah, dude, me as well. There's so much exciting fights. I'm trying to think if there's any other ones that are coming up. I think Colby Covington is fighting Usman again.
Gosh. So there's a lot of shit that goes on with this fight. These guys obviously don't like each other.
Yeah, man.
Genuine hate there. The last time I always talk about with my brother that Colby Covington got his ass beat the best compared to the last 3 or 4 guys that Usman has fought. He had stayed in there for a little bit. Meanwhile, other people's getting their fucking heads taken off of their body. But Colby got smashed, bro, but he was still staying in the pocket and trading blows with this guy.
It's true, yeah.
Hard, a fucking warrior. He does this shit. So coming into that second fight, there's bad blood, and both these guys want to literally kill each other.
Yeah.
Amazing. I cannot wait.
And dude, how crazy is Usman looking? Did you see him against Masvidal?
He took his head off.
That was horrible, man.
Never been knocked out before, and he just got his shit removed off his body. How long did it take for Masvidal to get off the floor?
Long time.
This is a guy that one of those durable guys, one of those bad son of a bitches that can fucking just fight anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And he got put in a coffin, and fucking Usman called it before the fight. He said he was talking all that shit because I didn't stop him. So this fight, I'm going to put him in a coffin. And that's what he did.
Yeah, it's crazy. And he never got knocked out before. So that was a big shock for the fans. And I tell you what, he handled it so gracefully.
Ass, man. Anybody who can lose like that and be that humble afterwards, you're a special dude. You're a very respectful, badass motherfucker. All the respect in the world to Masvidal for that.
Yeah, he has a good sense of reality, and he has a very healthy ego to be able to do that. And I think that's definitely played a part in where he is just now. And I'm a big fan of him as well. He's a good fighter.
Yeah, definitely. He's been in the game for a long time. Backyard brawls with Kimbo. Masvidal has been doing this shit for a long time. So all of us love to see him get in there and fight those top tier guys. And if I'm not mistaken, wasn't there rumblings about him having a rematch with Wonderboy?
With Wonderboy? I'm not sure. I've not heard that, but that could be an interesting fight. I don't know though. I feel like Jorge's a bit more of a star than that. To give him a match against Wonderboy, I don't know. I don't know if I like that. I mean, I watch it, but I don't know. I'd rather see him fight the winner of Nick Diaz versus Robbie Lawler.
That'll be a brawl too. That'll be fun. But those guys are old. Is this like a one and done thing for them? Or are they like, fuck it, man, I'm back and I'm gonna be?
I don't know. It just depends. I don't see Robbie Lawler as being done. I still think he's I don't know, maybe 1 or 2 more fights. It's kind of hard to tell. What was his last fight? So he fought Ben Askren. And has he had another fight since then? I feel like he's maybe had one fight since then. Let me just quickly check it. Yeah, so he is a bit on a losing spree actually. So he lost to Dos Anjos. So he lost his belt to Tyron Woodley. He beat Cerrone, lost to Rafael Dos Anjos, lost to Ben Askren, lost to Colby Covington, lost to Neil Magny, which was decision. So yeah, now he's fighting Nick Diaz. I don't know. I think it's a good matchup for him. He's obviously on a bit of a losing streak, and Nick's been out for a while, so I think it'll be good to see that fight again. Robbie Lawler's, sorry.
That's going to be interesting. It's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, Robbie Lawler's definitely not the same fighter that Nick fought all the, was it 20 years ago or something? No, maybe. I don't even know. When was it? 20 years?
12 years or some shit.
Holy shit.
Wow.
Let's see if I can get the date for that. So Nick Diaz, man, I haven't scrolled down his record right to the bottom. 2004, dude.
17 years ago.
That's insane. We're going to do a rematch now. So yeah, watch that. That's going to be amazing.
Yeah, man. Liam, I appreciate you getting on the pod, man. There's a lot of exciting shit coming up in the UFC. It seems like every month we're having one or two amazing cards, and we could do podcasts all the time. So I'm sure I'm going to see you in the future. But if you have anything to tell the fans or anything like that, man, here's a chance.
There's one more fight I want to talk to you about. I know it's not really UFC related, but we've got Jake Paul versus Tyron Woodley. What you got?
I think is going to smash him. This is going to be the time that Jake Paul proves that he is the man and he can actually fight. Because say what you will about Tyron Woodley in the UFC in the octagon, this dude could fucking throw hands and he has ridiculous power. He's an amazing athlete. And then he's been training with Floyd too. So it's like Floyd's going to get him ready for that transition. Now, depending on how he actually transitions from the octagon to the ring is going to be interesting. But I know they have a bet on the side. The loser has to get the other person's name tatted on them. So there's extra shit in this fight deal that's absolutely amazing. They're going to make a lot of money, good for both of them. And it's exciting to see Jake Paul actually fighting a real person that could throw hands. You know, this guy is in the UFC. He's not Ben Askren, who's no shit talking to Ben Askren, but he can't throw hands to save his life. He's probably one of the most, the least talented striker in the UFC. So he'll wrestle your ass off, though. Tyron Woodley could throw fucking hands. And I know Jake Paul's not a punk. I've talked to a person that's been in the gym with him, and she said that she's seen him lay people out in the gym. This guy really boxes, and he's a big-ass dude himself, him and his brother. So it's going to be interesting. How you feel about it?
Dude, I was just loving you talk about it there. There's your clickbait. You clip that, send that to me. I'll put that on the page. Mac's thoughts on Jake Paul versus Tyron Woodley. That's your clickbait right there. How do I think it goes? I agree with everything you've just said. Everything. I think it's a big challenge for Jake. Tyron Woodley's had his ups and downs in the octagon, but yeah, he's definitely going to try and put an ass whipping on Jake Paul, and we're all going to tune in and see it. If he gets it done, fair play to him. It's weird because I can't really see Tyron losing. It's a bit weird. I don't really imagine Jake Paul getting his hand raised for a knockout over Tyron Woodley. It just doesn't. It would be very impressive. So if he does it, then fair play to him, and I look forward to see who he boxes next because I think he's a great entertainer. And yeah, dude, just another fun fight to watch. And I think Tyson Fury's younger brother, is going to be on the undercard boxing. I think he's going to be boxing a fighter. So yeah, that'll be interesting as well.
Yeah.
We should,
what's that promotion called? Triller or Thriller or some shit like that? They're doing one hell of a job putting that company putting on these fights. Is very entertaining. We want to see ex-basketball players fighting this guy, and it's badass.
It's pretty crazy. I don't know if it's Triller anymore, though. I think Jake Paul may have signed a deal with Showtime, and perhaps that's why they're getting all these stars in. So yeah, like I say, Tyson Fury's little brother's boxing on the card. Yeah, it's very exciting. And yet, who's not going to watch a basketballer versus a YouTuber or this and that, especially if they've got a big following. And we all watched Floyd Mayweather beat Logan Paul's ass for however many rounds it was. It's fun, and no one's really getting hurt, and it's just good. But yeah, the UFC is definitely a different ball game, and you can't really play UFC, so it's exciting.
Play that shit at all,
dude? Not at all, dude. We should try and do. I don't know if you watch, but how Joe Rogan does the Fight Companion podcasts, and Brendan Schaub does Fight Companion podcasts. I feel like if you got a couple people, my brother, me, your brother is really cool as well. I feel like if we did that, it would be quite cool to have a group and put that on as the Talksmackwithmac Fight Companion first episode.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I don't know how we would do it. We maybe need to what, because we're not allowed to have the volume from the fights. So we maybe just have to have it on in the background, have headphones on or something. But where there's a will, there's a way. I think that would be pretty cool. Yeah, especially if we did it live, man, that would be insane.
Yeah, man, I'll definitely keep that in mind. I fucking love the idea. It just has to be a day that everything lines up. A lot of the fights are on Saturdays. He works on Saturdays, so it has to be a special aligning. You know what I'm saying? And when that happens, it's going to be badass. But even if he can't do it, I'm still down.
Yeah, me as well, man. I look forward to that. That would be cool. Until I can come to Vegas and we can do one together, that would be insane.
You'll see the new podcast room. It's going to be all badass and shit, so...
Yeah, man.
Up, man. Liam, I appreciate you getting on, man. This is always great talking MMA with you. And make sure that if you love MMA, you check out MMA Hardcore on Instagram. These guys are absolutely fantastic. Highlights, throwbacks, just a lot of badass shit. MMA Hardcore on Instagram. Liam, I appreciate it. We're out.